And welcome to another episode of Insider Financial Talks Penny Stocks. Today we are going to be talking about Enzolytics, ENZC on the OTC markets. But before we get into that, we want to do some housekeeping issues. First of all, we have no position in any of the securities mentioned. We have no business relationship with any company whose stock is mentioned in this video. Insider Financial and myself, Alex Carlson, is not an investment advisor, and we are not providing investment advice. Always do your own research and make your own investment decisions. This video is not a solicitation or recommendation to buy, sell, or hold securities. This video is meant for informational and educational purposes only and does not provide investment advice. We recommend that you consult your nearest financial advisor before making any investment decisions. With that being said, remember, once you've to go over and like this video, give us a subscribe, hit the subscribe button, the little bell here, and be notified when our next video. We're going to be doing these on a regular basis. And, our focus right now is coverage of securities that the stocks that we're recommending to our subscribers, the ones that have done really well. On one of our earlier videos last week, we discussed TSNP, and today we're going to discuss ENZC. Our subscribers have got in at 0.001 down here when it started right before the big run. And we want to really stress to people that are just new to this or chasing stocks. What we specialize in, what we try to do, we're looking to find the momentum before it happens. So you want to get in here. You want to look for any sell-offs. So this was our first coverage. Then when the stock ENZC sold off, we did a follow-up coverage and caught this move here. So most likely on the next step here, ENZC will see a little bit of a retrace and look to buy the dip. And what we're going to discuss, explain to you is what's happening with ENZC. Why this stock is running, why it's one of the top stocks to own on the OTC markets right now. If you go to the iHub message board, it was #1 on the most read boards in the last 24 hours, had almost 155,000 reads. So this explains the 42% move yesterday. It's got a lot of eyeballs. A lot of people are watching this stock, and it is quite the runner. With that being said, let's jump in here. Our first article, again, we cover first for our subscribers. They get the first read, insight on our picks or our alerts. And then we issue a write-up onto the website. This article hit the tape on October 6th. Let's see here. This was once we hit the tape, we got a move here, contribute to a move of 39%. We have a big following, and we know that with some of our articles, we can move markets. So that was our first article, and we're going to discuss it right now. It was really just going over and explaining the merger between ENZC and Bioclonetics, and it really is the perfect merger. It is very synergistic. It makes a lot of sense, and we're really excited about this merger. And it really plays into what's going on right now with COVID-19. To give you a little background and backstory in understanding, the most important aspect in the treatment of coronavirus is monoclonal antibodies. Dr. Fauci, the head of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, he's been studying antivirals, and infectious diseases like HIV his entire career. So, basically here is a guy that was, he spent his whole career waiting for this moment. And he is well respected with the victory of Joe Biden going into the White House. Joe Biden has publicly said he's going to retain Dr. Fauci. He values his advice, and he will be listening to Dr. Fauci, whereas Trump, sort of did not want to listen to the scientists. But there's on our article here, we suggest you go and have a look and, listen to what Dr. Fauci has to say about monoclonal antibodies. I won't play the video for you here. I'll let you go and do that on your own. But when this article hit the tape, this was what was happening was this is when Trump was tested positive for COVID-19. And it was quite the treatment. They basically threw everything but the kitchen sink at him. And obviously, I mean, he's the president of the United States. Regardless of your politics, we want the best for our president. And the treatments that they gave him, it started with a course of remdesivir. And then 2 days later, they gave him a steroid normally reserved for severe COVID-19 cases. And in addition to treatment, Trump had been taking zinc, vitamin D, famotidine, melatonin, and a daily aspirin. And the thing is, and what we wanted to stress back then is that they threw so much at Trump in terms of treatment that it was not clear which one worked. They were basically, it was just throw everything against the wall, see what sticks. As long as he got better, it was a win. And coming back to Fauci and understanding COVID-19, the coronavirus, is that the science behind HIV and COVID-19 are very similar. So, the companies that are able to treat HIV, they are the companies that are going to be able to treat, COVID-19. And, one company that, is at the heart of HIV research and one of which Dr. Fauci is familiar with is Bioclonetics Immunotherapeutics, a Dallas, Texas biotech company with proprietary technology for producing fully human monoclonal antibodies against infectious diseases including HIV, rabies, influenza A, influenza B, tetanus, and diphtheria. Its proprietary methodology for producing fully human monoclonal antibodies have been touted as being therapeutic treatments for the coronavirus. And as we say here, the going back is that the similar structures of HIV and COVID-19 and the efficacy of its clone 3 antibody in fighting HIV. Bioclonetics has been asked by the National Science Foundation to submit a funding application for the development of a COVID-19 antibody. The company currently has applications pending with the NSF and the National Institutes of Health. So Bioclonetics is a big deal. And, in looking at Enzolytics, the key here is that, one of the treatments that Trump was given was famotidine. And famotidine has been suggested as a treatment for COVID-19. It's known by its popular heartburn remedy sold under the name Pepcid. I'm sure most of you are familiar with Pepcid. And this is really where ENZC comes into play. So Enzolytics flagship compound ITV1 is a suspension of inactivated pepsin fraction, which studies have shown is effective in the treatment of HIV/AIDS. IPF is the active drug substance of ITV1 and is a purified extract of porcine pepsin. And ITV1 is shown to modulate the immune system. And so you understand the two different companies, and the key is why the merger is synergistic is that the Bioclonetics Clone 3 recombinant antiviral will be combined with Enzolytics flagship compound ITV1. And once they're combined, that is what will modulate the immune system. So basically, you have two drug companies. One, you know, ENZC, you know, has the pepsid-like fragment, and then Bioclonetics. So you combine the two of them, and that's where the effective treatment comes into play. And here, Charles Cotropia, the CEO of Bioclonetics, said that, you know, our proprietary methodology may also be applied to produce monoclonal antibiotics against other infectious diseases. So, you know, they're really looking at, you know, taking the research that they have and the work that they've done for HIV, and now spinning around and going after, you know, COVID-19, which is, you know, that's the sweet spot. That's where you want to be right now. The companies, they plan to conduct binding studies combining the therapeutics produced by both companies to evaluate the beneficial effects and the increased binding capability of the Bioclonetics Clone 3 antibodies to multiple HIV isolates. And then what they're looking at here is the next step will be to be doing primate studies at the California National Primate Research at UC Davis. As we said here, we summed it up, you know, the ENZC and Bioclonetics merger is a game changer for HIV COVID-19 treatment by combining the therapeutics produced by both companies. You know, we believe an effective treatment will be finally available. The next steps to be watching for, which have not hit the tape yet, is the merger closing, NIH funding, and, you know, we get both, and then, you know, shares are going to go parabolic. You know, the one thing that, you know, they also need to do, it's got the stop symbol. You know, they need to get their filings current. And you know, we've been told that they're working on that, and that is coming. So after we covered this on October 6th, we came back, and on November 16th, we did a follow-up. And here, November 16th, you can see here it closed at 009.009565. So, you know, in addition to our subscribers, any of our readers who had read this article and you know, was able to, you know, acted on it, they were able to catch this move. So, you know, we're not coming out with an article today, you know, after, you know, missing this move, you know, in you know, we know penny stocks as well as anyone. You know, this is not where you buy in. You know, you wait for dips. And, you know, one of the things that we had talked about here, and why we really intrigued us about ENZC was, you know, our subscribers had just, you know, captured a huge runner in TSNP. You know, many were sitting on over 1,000% gains, and, you know, what we wanted to suggest is, you know, book some profits. You're playing with house money, and you know, diversify and put some more money into ENZC. And you know, I'm glad that they did, because that has worked out really well. And I think what, well, not think, but we know what was really driving This move here this month in ENZC is the news that Bioclonetics was going to be setting up a lab space at Texas A&M University, and we have a lot of familiarity with Texas A&M. Texas A&M, it really is ground zero when it comes to the U.S. government's efforts to get coronavirus treatments out to hundreds of millions of Americans. And now with Bioclonetics ENZC there, they're about to be front and center of this effort. And as we said here, the ENZC shares were an absolute steal at that level. Here we'll just recap what we had discussed in the last article. Here's the key here, going and following up here on Texas A&M. Where our familiarity with Texas A&M was we had caught a move in IBIO. And we suggest here you read our initial coverage from April 28th. Come over here. We look here at IBIO. And this was back in April 28th when it was written. Here, it was at 85 cents, and then you saw this big explosion to $7. So again, we've really had a great year capturing, calling these big runners in the COVID and coronavirus space. So it's been a fantastic year, and we're really happy for everyone that has participated. But IBIO, they have a fast farming facility at Texas A&M University, and it was originally built in 2010 with funding from DARPA. The fast farming facility was part of the Blue Angel initiative to establish factories capable of rapid delivery of medical countermeasures in response to a disease pandemic. So IBIO, they have the technology to produce hundreds of millions of doses, and that's really what's going to be needed. And at Texas A&M, there you also have BARDA is involved, and BARDA was created in response to the terrorist attacks of 9/11. And it's basically a rapid response agency, and now they've turned their focus to the pandemic. The CARES Act, which was passed back in March, included $3.5 billion for BARDA to basically fight the coronavirus, and this included Operation Warp Speed. And now what we have going on with Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and Moderna with the vaccine is how do you mass produce a COVID-19 vaccine? Well, the key is, and this is where Texas A&M is playing a part, and the government's focus is the high-tech biomanufacturing facility at Texas A&M for the mass production of a COVID-19 vaccine. And BARDA is coordinating this, and so it really is a true private-public partnership. And everyone's asked, well, what's Bioclonetics ENZC? Okay, they're there. What's their role? And it goes back to what we said in the last few minutes earlier, is that it's all about monoclonal antibodies. Experts agree that for a monoclonal antibody therapy to be effective, a combination or cocktails of such antibodies used in combination will likely be needed. As Dr. Fauci has repeatedly clarified and said this, that the success in the treatment of such virus can be expected to be found in the use of multiple broadly neutralizing HIV antibodies, meaning several antibodies that neutralize a broad spectrum of a virus in its numerous mutation forms. Um, while other pharma companies may produce effective antibiotics, there will necessarily be a need for additional monoclonal antibiotics to be used in tandem with those initially discovered. And also, and unfortunately, the mutation of viruses, both the HIV and coronavirus, will necessitate the production of numerous effective antibiotics as the virus mutates around the therapeutics initially discovered. You know, everyone's talking about the effective, Moderna, Pfizer, 90%, 95%. Well, that is what's happening right now. But you got to understand, coronavirus just, was 6 months ago. You know, they've only been working in a short time frame. So yes, there's effectiveness right now, but what is that effectiveness going to be like next year? In 6 months, in 12 months, in 18 months. So there's still a lot of work to be done here. And as we say that the biggest concern with COVID-19 treatment is virus escape. This is when the antibiotic over time will be rendered ineffective due to mutation. And this is really where we see Bioclonetics ENZC having a huge role, is that their anti-HIV monoclonal antibodies targets an immutable virus site on the HIV virus. One that is constant within virtually all 6,000 now known different HIV strains of the virus. And the key here is, and this is the important part, the coronavirus has a structure correlative to that of the HIV virus, meaning they're similar. So what the science for the treatment of HIV can now be applied to the coronavirus. And the Bioclonetics ENZC primary anti-HIV monoclonal antibody has been proven. This is proven to neutralize numerous different strains of the HIV virus in tests in 5 international labs. So, knowing the binding site on the HIV virus onto which its antibody binds, resulting in neutralization, this knowledge, now you can provide the insight necessary to identifying the corresponding structure, meaning the amino acid sequences on the coronavirus that should be targeted to neutralize the coronavirus and stop virus escape. That is huge. That's critically important, and this is why Bioclonetics ENZC is such a huge deal. As we, the Bioclinics ENZC solution, additional monoclonal antibodies are going to be expected and needed to fully treat COVID-19 patients. And the Bioclonetics ENZC model starts with the human immune B cells, and they're obtained from convalescent individuals who have recovered already from the coronavirus. And this is important, to understand that the primary distinction for the Bioclonetics ENZC process for creating the fully human monoclonals is the starting point, namely from human immune B cells, and these are from humans who have survived successively from a natural coronavirus infection. It was not generated in a lab. They've had it, and they're taking the company is then producing antibiotics that target the conserved immutable sites on the virus to avoid the virus escape. This is where understanding virus escape and Bioclonetics ENZC's role is the key to understanding the science, the technology, and how this is all going to play out. So, understand that, right now, the steps that we're waiting for, we're just waiting for the merger to close, the company to receive its NIH grant money. The move to Texas A&M is no coincidence, with DARPA involvement, Dr. Fauci, knowing about the HIV, understanding HIV and HIV treatment, with Biden getting in, we think that we could also see some Operation Warp Speed funding for ENZC. And these are why we think ENZC was a bargain, at 0.009 and below. Um, Once we get more clarification, we get that funding, we get the merger closing, the stock is going to take off. But for right now, coming back here, um, we had this this huge move here. We think we'll retrace a little bit before you know making another run. If you missed the move, if you're looking to get into ENZC, we'll be issuing alerts on ENZC along with we're always researching new stocks that we think have huge potential. So go over to signup.insiderfinancial.com, enter your email. If you're in the US, you can then sign up for our real-time text alerts. If you're overseas and don't have a US number, don't worry, you will still get our email alerts. Like I said, please give us a like, hit the subscribe button, the notifications. We will keep our subscribers updated. We thank you all for watching today. We wish everyone good luck. And again, thank you very much to all our loyal subscribers for staying tuned. Thank you. Take care, and wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Bye bye.